None of them can hang, running with the gang. No need to explain. I pull up then it's they cannot contain me moving through the lane. Every little setback, I step back and then it's none of them can hang, running with the gang. No need to explain. I pull up and it's they cannot contain me moving through the lane. Every little setback, I step back and then it's I gave them nuggets and knowledge. They tried to put nicks in my armor, but I've been mellow since college. Made this Vixen a mama, and I'm still blazing trails.
Man, what is going on, y'all? I gotta tell you, I'm not feeling the greatest. And I hate that I can't be that beacon of light that people can look to and be like, well, you know what so-and-so said is actually a good point. Yada, yada, yada. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm feeling down about it. But I know some guys that are going to cheer you up a little bit. First and foremost, we got the one and only Jay Joyce. And, of course, we've got Suns fan Randy. I know these guys are probably feeling a little bit better than me in vlogs. I can guarantee you that. So I want you guys to know where I'm coming from. Look, we saw a lot of strange things in the game last night. Even without Booker, the runouts, the open layups, the weird things that happened at the end of the game, not being in clutch time. 57% 3-point shooting by the Pelicans. Us shooting poorly. I mean, without Devin Booker, we were 6 for 24 from 3-point range. You know, that's got to change. We didn't play defense like we were supposed to. And part of me wants to believe with all my heart that we were playing a certain game plan for game one, and we got away with it. Made a little adjustment on the rebounding side, but for the most part, we played the same way for game two. Just because we didn't want to fully show all of our cards. Because basketball in the playoffs is a game of adjustments, y'all. You know, what's the adjustment you're going to make to one and who can, after game one, and who can adjust to that? And then so forth and so forth and so forth. So part of me still thinks there's something there. We were hiding something. We're not showing something, whatever it may be. Because that was not the Phoenix Suns team that we have seen for the 82-game season. It just wasn't. So, with that being said, I still feel like the rebounding. I mean, how many times have I got to talk about rebounding on this damn episode or this damn podcast? How many times have I said rebounding? And it's biting us in the ass big time. Big time, to the point where we might have to play like JaVale and Biyombo together or something, right? To combat that, to try to own the boards. And then they just weren't in sync. Jay Crowder looks like trash. Campaign looks like trash. I mean, bench Campaign for Aaron Holiday, right? Aaron Holiday can make shots. We know that. And he'll give you all-out energy. So, on one side of the fence, I'm seeing a lot of things that can't be fixed and hasn't been fixed for 82 games, mainly rebounding. On the other side of the fence, I'm like, yo, this team can still do it. You know, you take away 2 or 3 of their 3-pointers and Jay Crowder hits one and Chris Paul hits one, like, we win by 1 point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the fence. I'm nervous. We're going to get upset by an 8 seed. To me, this isn't your typical everyday 8th seed, though. Your every year 8th seed. This is like the We Believe Warriors, or like maybe the 99 Knicks, who made it to the finals. Like, we'll wait there. But this is one of the better 8th seeds that have come out in a while. So, Randy, I didn't listen to your podcast last night. I didn't listen to Jay and Amit. I didn't listen to Suns Jam Session. I didn't want to listen to anything. So I don't officially know your stance and everything, Randy. I've talked to Jay just slightly here or there and seen some tweets. So I wanna get your take on everything, just from the game last night, moving forward. And I mean, do we have a chance?
Yeah. So initially, just to throw it out there, like, my worry level is probably about a 2, only because I feel like something that if we've all watched every Suns game this year, and something that we need as a team from hearing, like, just here and there, is that we need that punch in the mouth. You know what I mean? We need that punch in the mouth, that wake up call that, hey, like, we can actually lose games. I feel like we walked into it, and these are some of the things like you just said. Is I feel like it's a few key things that we struggle with just as a team. One, rebounding. Two, teams that can shoot the three ball really well. And three, like I feel like getting up for opponents that we feel like we can beat. I feel like after game one, after how bad we kind of played, like yes, we won, but like CP3 just kind of put it on his back and just like, you know what I'm saying, carried us. And the same thing with kind of with this game too. With D-Book, we were playing terrible, but D-Book kind of just carried us into like had us a 5-point lead or whatever the case may be. And I feel like once we play teams or once we see a team that we feel like we're like they're below our standard, you know what I mean? Like we go out and we play to their standard or we play below our standards. You know what I'm saying? So we every now and again we need that punch in the mouth that, oh, like damn, like okay, we can lose. But I feel like I said, it was a good loss for us just because for the wake up call. I think that we can come out game 3. Like we gotta relax, man, just because like we gotta understand what it is and how it is. Like it's been so long since we've been in the playoffs, so it's like we gotta understand that once you lose a game, you feel like you can't win again, and after once you win a game, you feel like you can't lose again. So you know what I'm saying? Like with that in mind, like you just gotta keep that in mind at all times and just be like, all right, because after game 1, I felt like maybe we could sweep, but I don't know. Anyways, and a couple things I want to touch on. I guess you guys can let me know if I'm tripping or not. I feel like what this series is doing though, or like there's 2 main concerns I have. One is like down the far line in the finals. I feel like watching this game, I was like, we're screwed. If we play Milwaukee again, like we can't, like even though we still have a chance to win games and we're getting out rebounded by double digits, is saying something. But if we do that against Milwaukee, like we're gonna lose that every single time. You know what I mean? So that was one thing I'm like watching it just mentally, like if we see them in the finals again, like we're screwed. And 2, I feel like I love him to death. I love him to death. I will run through a wall for him. But I feel like this is exposing like the kind of coach Monty is, in the sense of the lack of adjustments, just the X's and O's like from it. And I feel like we didn't run a lot of sets that we run. I don't know if it's just because Willie Green knows what we're trying to do or whatever the case may be. But I feel like a lot of sets we didn't run into like later on into the game in like dire kind of situations. And I feel like there was just no adjustments. I feel like he kept the bench unit out there for too long. He kept Cameron Payne out there for too long. And I just feel like
too long.
Jay Crowder, you know what I'm saying? It was just.
But I don't know about. I know the in-game adjustments have been a thing to a point, but then how many times have we made an adjustment in the fourth quarter down 17 to the Jazz and we come back and win? There isn't an in-game adjustment. How many times do we come back in the fourth quarter? So I'm not going there with that. I'm not messing with that. I think the fact that Willie Green knows us better than anybody else is a tremendous, tremendous X factor in this whole series. That's why this isn't a typical 1-8 matchup. I mean, the dude that has been with Monty for the past, I want to say 3 or 4 years, and he was even in Philly. I want to say he was in Philly with Monty when Monty was an assistant. And then came over with us to be the lead assistant. So somebody check me on that. He knows Monty better than anybody. No other coach in the league does. You know what I'm saying? So it's like part of me thinks whatever he's going to call in the playbook, Willie's got 1 or 2 things ready to go on the other side in case he calls that, because he knows what's coming up. I mean, you saw it from the Suns when Willie was calling some things and they were calling snap or some elbow action. The Suns saw it coming. They were able to blow it up. So it's like we saw things that we run. You know what I mean?
Right.
Ultimately, it's what kind of adjustments can you make that Willie is not going to expect. So I don't agree with the fact that people keep saying Monty doesn't know how to adjust, because I don't know how many times we've come back in the second half, and I think that is a ludicrous statement.
But my thing to
Jay,
that is,
just jump in here, whatever. I'm not going questions. We're not going. We're just going
I'm just listening.
This is barbershop style tonight.
No, I feel like we got to add in the aspect of it too, of like we got to realize like this team saves Monty's ass a lot. And I feel like that's something that we don't, or like, I don't know if you're taking that into consideration. Like Chris Paul and Devin Booker and like all the other talent saves a lot of the mistakes that Monty makes. You know what I'm saying? Like this team saves a lot of the stuff that he does. I feel like if he tries to do this stuff with any other team, I don't know if it goes the same.
I don't really agree with that, honestly.
In that case,
because what was his scheme before Monty?
Michael Jordan and Kobe saved Phil Jackson how many times then?
I mean, you could say that. You could say. I mean, I imagine Phil has flaws or whatever the case may be, but I feel like I said, I still feel I'm gonna just stand on it. I just feel like X and O's. the adjustments. And then, like I said, I feel like another thing too that's starting to like, because it's like, all right, if you can get the chemistry right, but like I'm starting to see like the lack of preparation. Like I'm starting to see the lack of energy. Like I kind of we all let it slide at the end of the season, like when everybody was just like, all right, like we don't care, like we got the team record, whatever. And I wasn't really tripping about it either. But I feel like now it's just like, okay, like last night was just like, all right, there's no energy, there's no effort, nobody's out there playing defense like that, and it's just like, what's going on?
I mean, how many times have we seen that in football, right? I mean, just the Packers this past year, man. Your team. I mean, y'all were. I'm not trying to bag you or make you feel bad or nothing, but seriously, like you take just that 1 week rest and you play against a team that has been going for it and has had their backs against the wall. They've already played a playoff game, probably on the road or something. Like that says a lot too. And the fact that we don't know who we play until 2 days beforehand, while everybody else gets a week, is bullshit. First off, they should have some sort of different format to really benefit the 1 seed, but ultimately it's a detriment to the 2 and the 7 seed because now the 1 and the 2 seed, because the 7-8 seed teams have been playing for an extra week with their back against the wall. Not only that, we're chilling for 2 weeks before the season ends, and these guys have been playing hard for the past month, right? Whereas, yeah, we're kind of sliding down. So, I mean, while we're here, I wanted to touch on this. And Jay, you didn't give a shit during the season, but now I'm legitimately rethinking my whole strategy if I were ever a coach in the NBA. When you're like the last 2 weeks of the season, when we didn't give a shit, we should have just kept playing. We should have threw everybody out except for the last game of the season, obviously, because what were we doing? We didn't want anybody to get injured. Well, guess what? Game 1 last year in the Lakers, who got injured? Chris Paul. Game 2 in the third quarter, who gets injured? Devin Booker. So what the hell's the difference? I do think there's some validity that the past 2 weeks or the 2 weeks prior to the season, letting up a little bit, that had an effect. I think that's there to a point. They just have to get back into that mindset. I mean, there was nothing to play for. It's hard to get out of that mindset and then get back into the world is against you. So that's kind of where I'm at. JJ, we ain't heard from you, man. Speak up.
Yeah, so I'll just start with like all kidding aside, the game was.
Man, we've heard enough from him today.
That was funny. But yeah, the game was very disappointing. I definitely wasn't pleased, but you touched on a good point after the game, Evan, when you tweeted like it looks like essentially we went in with the same game plan as we did game 1, and with the efficiency from our outside scores can overshadow our lack of defense. Like we can take plays and drives off, and kind of make up for that. And when Booker went down, you
got some echo thing on your microphone again, by the way.
Do I?
Yeah.
What about
no,
now?
just is it that echo button that you have on your mic?
No, I don't think it's on. No.
I don't know. Go into your settings real quick and check that out. That's just sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick. It's kind of annoying.
No, you're good.
And also, man, just imagine if we would have traded for Eric Gordon now, right?
I mean, but to get back to the coaching thing too, I feel like another thing too that he could have took advantage of last night. Brandon Ingram was hurt, and we didn't go at him at all. Like Brandon Ingram was definitely hobbled when he was playing, and I feel like we could have at least tried to wear him out on the defensive end. We could at least try to target him on defense, and I feel like that's something, like I said, is coaching is just like you got to notice, you got to see, and be like, okay, cool, and take advantage of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry, Jay. Go ahead with what you're saying, and if you still got it, we'll just roll with it, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, the game was just disappointing and all, but when I was watching it, it felt like another regular season game. Like it was just hard for me to put my my head into playoff mode, and I felt the same way game 1 too. I just wasn't fully all the way there. It just felt like another game for some reason, and it was definitely eye-opening when Booker went down. And without Booker's amazing start before half, like no one was really scoring. Like the game was practically even. It was back and forth until halftime, and and I think it was just one of those nights where the opponent just can't miss a shot. Alvarado was draining them. Lance drained a couple threes. Bi couldn't miss a shot, and CJ McCollum didn't miss from halfway through the third to like the fourth. And like we've talked about this a couple times on the pod. Like the only way to really beat this team is you got to be shooting out of your damn mind, and that's what they did.
Out rebound them and shoot 50% plus from three. I said I was listening to Gambo today, and Gambo came up with that. I was like, man, we said that 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. So it like if you were to ask me, will they be able to do that again? Maybe for a game, but that's just isn't sustainable. No one shoots that at a consistent rate.
Okay, yeah,
But,
okay. I need to nip that in butt. That's true. That's true. But man, McCollum and Ingram are in a zone, y'all.
They are. Yeah.
These are two all-star players that have played in the all-star game. You understand? Like, these aren't just regular. This isn't your typical 8 seed. I mean, hell, I'd rather play Dallas or Utah right now, the 4-5 seed. They don't have a CJ McCollum. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is a shell of himself, and there's no Luka. And here we are with Brandon Ingram over there who can average 35, 40 points. McCollum who can do the same. And we're so focused on McCollum that we sag off of Brandon Ingram, or we're on top of Brandon Ingram and we're going to play off of McCollum. And then you have Herb Jones or whoever the hell making threes. Larry Nance last night shooting out of his damn mind. Now that one won't happen again. I guarantee you that one won't happen again. I understand the law of averages. I get that. But we have seen in the NBA when law of averages do not matter. Look at Giannis shooting 23 of 25 from free throws. Like, come on. You can't play the law of averages game in this. Like, I'm not accepting that as a yeah, but this won't happen again. Like, no, it probably won't. But they have two dudes that can light it up, and they've done it. And keep in mind, we lost to this team in the regular season too, y'all. We had problems with them almost every game except for one. I understand the law of averages, but go ahead, Jay. I cut you off.
Oh no, it's all good. I mean, just to add to that, it's Willie Green knows our system, and it's definitely hard to manage around that. But like the series is going to come down to one, overall performances from your stars and your counterparts, and then just in-game adjustments. Is Monty's bag deeper than Willie's? Like we're definitely gonna see in these next couple of games, because if Phoenix can at least steal one in New Orleans, I mean, I think we're in good shape, honestly. If we're going in, let's say 2-2, coming back to Phoenix, and Booker's back after the 2 games, I mean, like, this is a completely different series. Yeah, like it might go 6, it might even go 7, but I'm still pretty confident because Brandon Ingram's stretch and McCollum's stretch in these last 2 games where they couldn't miss a shot, for some odd reason, Monty was directing Mikal's defensive presence somewhere else, and it was Jay Crowder on Brandon Ingram, and
which worked game 1 and the last game of the regular season we played them.
Yeah.
Because he put some muscle into him as a, you know what I mean? And it kind of got into his center a little bit, but.
Yeah. Like, we have 2 really good defenders, and Jay falls in that category too of really good defenders. But when you're a liability on offense, like in that game, like you need to direct that energy somewhere else. And I think Cam Johnson needs to be implemented a little more. Define his groove, because we're missing that outside shooting last night. No one was able to hit anything last night. Chris Paul missed a lot of easy jumpers. Jay missed a lot of wide open threes, and DA only took 6 shots, and we're not going to win if DA's only taking 6 shots.
That's coaching, man.
Let's stick on DA for a second. Okay, but you can't ask DA to be the only one that's going to rim protect and block out Valanciunas and do all that stuff and put all that on him for offense.
Everybody needs to crash the board.
I'm not tripping. Yeah, I'm not tripping off of him not grabbing boards. My thing is, if you notice,
I'm on one today, so y'all don't take it
go
personal
ahead.
how I am.
No. Go ahead, man. We vented, man. But anyways, DA was beating everybody. Well, he was beating Valanciunas down the court every single time. And the fact that we couldn't get him the ball, like if you go back and watch, he's beating Valanciunas every single down, and he's sealing off whoever's down there, whether it's Herb Jones, Alvarado, or whatever.
I did see that. You're right.
And it's just we can't get him the ball, or we can't feed him the ball, and it's just like, that's coaching. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be like, all right, Devin Booker's down. Okay, boom. Like,
good point.
But let's get some action for DA. And then another thing too that I noticed. Oh, dang, I got to think about it. I lost my point, but yeah, that was another thing that I seen. I was just like, man, this is irritating.
I be black.
No, but 100%. No, you're absolutely right. And this has been an issue last season and this season. You know, it's finding DA, and DA has been a lot better this season. And he had a great game one. He was very efficient. Like the rebounding wasn't necessarily good, but his defensive presence was there. And Valanciunas just had a lot of easy tip-ins and shit. So, but
because DA, of weak side rebounding. Like, man, how many times do we say that on the podcast, Jay? How many times do we say that? How many times did Ahmet got to say it? A guard or whoever the hell gets beat, DA comes over to help out. He helps out. They miss the shot, and the guy on the other side of the court comes in for a free tip-in or something. You know what I'm saying? That's Mitchell Robinson against the Knicks, man. Right. Nobody on the weak side puts a body into them, and what you need to do is you're usually going to have, so if DA comes over on one block, on the opposite block in the opposite corner, there's going to be a guy, and on the opposite wing, there's going to be another guy. So there's going to be two Suns defenders over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both of those dudes need to be sagging off almost down to the block to the point where when that shot goes up, they can get a foot in the paint, and they need to pinch that other guy. And if anybody doesn't know what a pinch is, you have a guy standing in the middle, basically, and you'll have I don't fucking know how to do this for audio people, but you have the guy in the middle, and you put a body on him on either side, and you pinch him, and you just pinch him right in the middle. So that way, if he tries to get up, he's not going to be able to get up too much because he's got two bodies on him. You need to pinch that other guy, and they're not doing that. They're so afraid of giving up a three-pointer for some reason. I don't know what they're afraid of because it's not helping.
Yeah. And then another thing that I noticed too, and I'll attribute this one to Campaign just because he's coming off the bench, is I felt like we did a good job with the pace. Like in the first half, they tried to push the pace, and CP3 and just how we just kept the same pace and we kept the lead or whatever the case may be. But when Cameron Payne kind of checked in and ramped up the pace, and then it's like, okay, like now you're actually playing to their, you know what I'm saying, like to their hand. So it's just like, and then after that, I feel like that second half, like it was just full fast pace. Like I don't know what happened, but that was another thing I seen too.
There's two things we can do. Yeah, I saw that. I'll address that right now.
Good comment. We'll get to that.
There's two things that we can really expose New Orleans like overall scheme on defense and offense. It's one, like running the bigs, Biyombo and Aiden, or JaVale and Aiden. Like whatever combination you want to do, have one of those guys crash the board, and then it gives that extra size, in the paint and stuff. And like the couple times that we've done that this season, it's looked really good. And like I know Monty wants to keep it, tucked away, but like let's end this series early. Let's have a couple of days rest before we start this next series. And then the second thing is we've used this against teams like the Nets or even Milwaukee. You have the main guy. Let's just use the Nets as an example. You have KD. You let KD have his. All right, you're going to give him those shots. You're going to contest him. You're going to make him hard, but you're going to let him have his. And then you make it impossible for any outside threat to even get a good quality shot up. And the Suns have been so good with that this season. And there's no reason why Murphy should be taking wide open threes. There's no reason why Larry Nance is popping out for a three. Why is everybody just so clustered? Like, we play our best basketball when everybody's moving. And I know Booker is a main piece of that whole wing rotation. But like, if we're talking about the deepest team in the NBA, this should be a very easy fix. Let let Ingram have his, make it hard, but make sure McCollum can't get a good shot up. Make sure Murphy isn't popping out for an uncontested corner three, because if if Brandon Ingram is having a bad night shooting wise and we're locking up everybody else, we're talking about a 10+ point win. So those are the two things that I think we can definitely tackle in the next upcoming games, because really New Orleans doesn't have the size like that. They have Nance, they have Valanciunas, and it doesn't really go any deeper than that. Brandon Ingram, he's really big, but he's not going to be down there in the paint trying to defend. He's not going to be crashing the boards. He's more of an offensive minded player. He's more of a KD-esque sort of player. So like he's going to be pulled out to the arc, and it's going to be a free for all for those 50-50 balls. So if we throw in Biyombo with Aiden or JaVale and Aiden and just run that for 5 minutes, we're talking about
I honestly don't. I agree with Bees right here 100%. I honestly don't know how much we can play McGee when CJ or Ingram are on the floor, man.
Yeah, we knew that though. We knew that when we
we have to play man,
he can't play man. I'm all for sitting JaVale and playing Biyombo, to be honest with y'all.
Yeah, his energy, the one thing that we have McGee. Yeah, the one thing we have McGee for is because I liked it against him when we played against him when he was on the Nuggets. It was just energy, just all motor. Just I'm trying to get every board. And I feel like the last 2 games he hasn't had that. He's been getting out rebounded. People have been stripping him and all kind of stuff. So it's just where's that motor at that we seen?
Yeah, shit. We've already talked about Ayton. I think we all expect more out of Ayton. Honestly, I'm fine if Ayton can just neutralize the paint and be that. What game was it? Was it game 3 against the Clippers or game 4 against the Clippers last year, where he basically won it by himself with 22 points, 22 boards or some shit, and 6 blocks or something ridiculous?
I think it was game 3. Yeah. He was.
Yeah,
I remember that game like it was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the if we can just get a dope rebounding game out of him, I'm fine with that. And I kind of want to see Biyombo first dude off the bench. I kind of want to see Biyombo and Ayton together for just a handful of minutes. Just to see what it looks like, But now when we're doing this, you know what's happening? We're adjusting to them instead of them adjusting to us, man. But at the same time, this is why you have all these dudes, so you can have an abundance of riches and be able to use them. So this is going to be one of Monty's biggest coaching successes or failures, is this game 3.
I'm telling you, man, because why? My thing is that irritates me is why are we waiting until we get into the playoffs to now we're experimenting with lineups? We've had 82 games. We've had a number of injuries. And it's now, you wait till
but because we're facing a team in New Orleans who doesn't play with a true point guard, and they play with 2 centers in Jackson Hayes and Valanciunas. It's not we're not playing a typical lineup. But then again,
that's
we're preparing to play the Bucks, right?
There's a Kmart Milwaukee that we're going up against right now, and it's just like I said, when I was watching it, I was like, yo, I'm concerned if we play Milwaukee again. Then you know what I'm saying, they got Bobby Portis who got poked in his eye tonight. They got Brook Lopez back, and it's just we're in some trouble. Double-digit rebounds at Jackson Hayes and Valanciunas. It's ridiculous. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Was it only a 10 rebound difference? It was 43-33, right?
Yeah, game 1 it was 20. We lost.
Valanciunas alone had 25.
I was like, yo.
Look, I know for a fact that if we can keep the rebounding edge even to single digits, that has to be priority numero uno, man. The rebounding edge has to be in single digits, and then that defense, just the runouts, man, just those little hustle things. And we do those. We stop the runouts. We stop the open layups, and we can control the boards. That right there is going to help so much. But and here's the thing that I am looking forward to, y'all. We are playing on the road. We are a better road team. That does hype us up. Everybody's already counting us out. Everyone's going to come together. They left for New Orleans today. Booker's out. They all got to come together and do all that thing. I'm really looking forward to see how they respond. I'm not giving up on this team. I just think there's a lot of factors that go into New Orleans' case for upsetting us. There's a lot of weird things in this. But y'all, I expect a fucking CP3 masterclass on
He needs
Friday.
to take over. He needs to be aggressive. He can't just be just very passive in the first 3 quarters. You can do that when Booker's right next to you. Like CP needs to be consistent throughout the whole game. He can't just wait till the fourth to be hooking up shots. Game 1 was amazing. Like we put everything before then to the side. It took a CP3 historical shooting night to come out with that win and make it as satisfying as possible for us. But CP needs to be very aggressive through these next couple of games. I don't care about his age, but or anything like that. You need to be putting up at least
it's the playoffs.
5 to 10 shots like a quarter. Find a range and you need to be putting them up because he hits those middies at a 98% percentile. That's easy points, man. Why do you wait so long? I know you're trying to facilitate and get everybody going, but if they're as good as what we make them out to be, they'll get those shots eventually. If the shot isn't there, kick it to Cam Johnson. And hopefully Jay Crowder starts making them because he took 12 shots and only made
2 of 15, 0 for 9 from 3 total. Yeah.
Yeah. And that imagine if that was Cam Johnson or Landry Shaman shooting those.
Right.
We're probably talking about a different game.
Fabio?
Yo, and that's my next question to you guys, or my next point I remember now is that last night, or I know that the injury was probably going to happen anyways, regardless. But do you guys think it was strategic, or what do you think it was in the sense of Devin Booker finished with 31 in the first half? He only shot 1 time after he got back in the game, or when what I'm saying, before he got hurt at the 4-minute mark. So do you think it was strategic in the sense of they were all right, they're gonna probably focus in on Book, so let's try to get everybody else involved? Or do you think it was just the flow of the game? And do you think that they should have just let him rock? Yo, you got the hot hand right now. Let's keep riding it out.
Yes, we got robbed of a Devin Booker 60-point performance in the damn playoffs is what we got robbed for. You got a hot hand, you feed it in the playoffs. This ain't science, man. This is easy. Basketball's easy. Go with what works. You got a dude that's a fireball right now. Give him the damn ball.
And plus, I think Booker learned not to go up on those meaningless fast break sort of stops if it's just in the beginning of the third quarter or the start of the second half. There was no reason for him to jump for that because we're already throwing some sloppy ass.
You know how he is. We've seen him do that a million times. He'll turn it over and then he'll get that look in his eye I want to chase it down. And I want to say probably 2 out of 10 times he actually blocks it or something.
Yeah. He doesn't have a good rate with that, but
hopefully you learn. He hurts his hamstring. He hurts his hamstring every 6 months.
Yeah, sound about right.
So you're looking at 2 weeks.
Did you guys see the new Woj tweet or no? Because you guys are talking about 3 and 4. But did you guys see that Devin Booker traveled with the team and then Woj tweeted out something along the lines they're not ruling him out for he said initially 3 and 4, yeah, but I guess he was just keeping it vague and was the series.
PHNX had a doctor on today and talked about hamstrings and stuff for 13 minutes. It was actually a cool little short podcast with Espo and whatnot. Go check it out if you want to learn more. But basically, a strain is the same thing as a tear. It's just tearing the muscle. It's just how significant of a tear. And typically, you need about 2 weeks to heal that before you can go back doing the same activity you just did to be able to play that again. Now, that's for me. That's for you, Jay. That's for Randy. That's for Espo, right? That's for Roy listening in. That's Devin Booker's a different animal, different breed. He played through a hamstring pull in the finals. He hurt it in game 3. Game 4 was, I think, his 16 or 19 point performance or whatever. And then he came back Game 5 and he was Book again. You know what I mean? He wasn't Game 1, Game 2 Book, but he was better. So
I mean, he dropped back-to-back 40s, man.
Yeah, I think he came back off of that hamstring and dropped 40.
Yeah.
Not Game 4. I thought that was Game 5 and Game 6. Maybe it was Game 3 when he actually heard it that he got that 19 points or whatever. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
I think you're right.
Yeah, whichever game we got blew out the water.
I don't
think it was
exactly
Game 3.
remember.
I mean, I watch it all the time, so it was Game 3.
So he can come back. He can do it. Luckily, we have 2 days. I'm not banking on him being back. Look, Mikal Bridges was not Defensive Player of the Year candidate the last 2 games. DeAndre Ayton was not the Ayton we've seen in the playoffs last game. Chris Paul was missing things left and right. Cam Johnson hasn't been Cam Johnson since he's been back. We would expect him, in theory, to get back to the Cam Johnson of old anytime now. Torrey Craig was shooting 2 of 3 every single game from 3. He can't hit. Jay Crowder is Jay Crowder. He did the same thing in the first 2 games of the Lakers first round last year. So we don't even know what to expect from him.
Then.
He was awful those first 2 games.
Yeah.
Campaign still ain't right. I said at the top of the podcast, I'm down with benching Campaign and putting in Aaron Holiday. You know what Aaron Holiday is going to bring. He's going to pester the hell out of McCollum, which would be great, and Alvarado or whoever the hell it's going to be. He's quick on his rotations, and he can hit the open 3. He does some dumb things. He'll turn it over every once in a while, but nothing Campaign is doing is helping us. We expected Campaign to be that third scorer, y'all.
Yeah, he can low-key.
He's awful. We have to have a third dude that can go out and create his own shot. That should be Campaign. And he has been awful. You can tell if Campaign is okay with a touch of the glass. If he is hitting his shot at every angle off the glass, you know he's healthy and feeling it. If it's bouncing off, he ain't feeling it.
He's still
That's
having
how
that
you
knee
can tell.
thing, man. Yeah.
He's still having a knee thing. He's not 100%. That's why he missed the last 2 games of the regular season. I really wish that they would play Aaron Holiday. Who y'all think should start for Book? You think it should be Cam Johnson? You think it should be Torrey? Maybe Biyombo? Shamit gonna come up? Who y'all think?
Cam.
I think Shamit. Just because I feel like Shamit has proved, like, in pressure situations, he rises to the occasion. Like, I don't like him. You know what I mean? We all, like, feel a way about Landry, but it's just, like, at the end of the day, like, you got to look at it. Whenever he's asked to start or, like, whenever he's been, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been pretty serviceable. Like, he hasn't been, like, absolute trash. Like, when it's pressure
he was
time.
decent. He was decent last night. He had that pretty nasty dunk, that two-handed jam.
Yeah.
His defense was pretty solid when he was on McCollum. McCollum wasn't really scoring at that time. But yeah, he only played 12, 14 minutes by the end. But I think Cam, like, just to get his rhythm going, Landry's definitely going to get a elevated amount of minutes due to circumstance and stuff. We just need to keep the same mojo. I think, like, Cam knows his role. Landry's had problems with finding his role throughout the whole season. So I'd rather put all my money on Cam Johnson just filling that spot. But so Game 5 is on Tuesday. Next Tuesday. So that's a good
6 days.
That's a good 6 days.
That's a full week after Booker hurt himself.
Yeah, and if we're thinking about last year and how Booker's hamstring went, it's about the same time period. So, like, by the time he sort of, like, was back to his full form, I think it was precautionary for him to sit out. I think he really wanted to play, obviously, because of the performance he was having. But there's no need to be, hurting it even more in the first round. And when you think this team is as deep as it is. So, Bees, I agree with that. One of our guards can definitely press Ingram going up the court, just make him annoyed.
They were doing that with Torrey Craig, though, in the second and I want to say at the end of the third quarter when Torrey Craig
they didn't do it enough. They didn't do it enough. They did it for a little bit, but I can't remember if Brandon Ingram was efficient at that time, but when you're a pesky defender, it gets pretty annoying. So if Brandon Ingram is getting to the spots, there's no point in doing it. So we just gotta press him early and make him take the shots that he doesn't want to.
I mean,
Like
I feel like
the corner three and such. So
right. I feel like Coach kind of hit it on the nail. I feel like we can let's simplify it. All right, like let's let BI do whatever he wants and just shut down everybody else. I feel like that's that's not a tall task to ask. I feel like we can.
And you just put Mikal on an island, right?
Yeah, just put Mikal on an island. If he gets 30, 40, whatever, who cares? Just shut down.
You want to throw Mikal on CJ? Like let him have a field day, man. Yeah.
Well, and that's why I think we should start Cam Johnson as opposed to Landry. I understand the X's and O's part of starting Landry. You can run the same sets and do all that stuff, but we've been getting killed on defense, killed on the boards. I think Cam Johnson brings a little more solidifying presence, in my opinion. But I think either way, I think no matter who you start, I think you make a substitution at the 8 or 9 minute mark. Okay. I think, boom, right away in the first 4 minutes, you need to make a substitution. I don't think you need to show too much and go 6, 7, 7.5 minutes into the first quarter before our first one. I think we need to be the first one to make the first substitution. I think no matter who it is, if Landry Shamet starts, his ass is coming off and we're putting Biyombo in. If it's Cam Johnson, we can take off Jay Crowder or Cam or whoever's not playing well, and we put in Biyombo. Yeah, that's just me. And then we can have DA sit down a little bit sooner and then maybe start the second quarter or something. You know, it just kind of depends on how Monty wants to do it. Or you play Biyombo for the rest of the second quarter. You have JaVale start the first quarter, have JaVale start the second quarter, and then you have Ayton come back in. I mean, we have a plethora of dudes that can do this, especially with no Valanciunas. Then you can definitely play Biyombo. If Valanciunas comes in, you can play McGee just a little bit.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, we can't have him playing drop coverage, McGee, that is. So I think we play him 4 to 8 minutes. Biyombo, we play a little bit more. But whoever it is starting, I really don't care. Yeah. We have to make a substitution in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, if we try to get everybody involved, everyone's going to sort of find the rhythm to a certain extent.
Yes.
It gives us more options and more things.
Quick line changes. Quick feet.
Because New Orleans is only playing seven players deep, and I think we're a lot deeper. So get Aaron Holiday out there with campaign, give Chris Paul a little time, for breathers and stuff. I think Aaron Holiday can press CJ. I mean, they're almost the same size. CJ is a little bigger, I think, by an inch or two. But Aaron Holiday, he's a great defender. I think he's really solid. But there's
Alvarado is a poor man's Aaron Holiday.
Yes,
he's a poor man's Javon Carter. Come on, man! I'm not letting that dude beat us.
That's the thing, though, with Monty. I feel like something where I don't know if you guys realize it, but it's like Monty is super old fashioned in the sense of if he says something, he's gonna ride with it until the wheels fall off. He's like, all right, Cam Payne, you're our backup too. For forever, you're always gonna be the backup too. So it's just I'm not gonna throw Aaron Holiday in unless you're hurt. You know what I mean? And it's just that kind of stuff is why we are in a situation where we are now. You not trying to make adjustments, or you just having a set game plan and saying all right, we're either gonna win like this or we're gonna lose like this. Either way, I'm gonna take it. You know what I mean? It's just dog, what are we doing?
But I disagree with that for the point that I said earlier that he's made a lot of. I think the X's and O's wise, he's really good at making minor adjustments. Maybe not full blown, full scheme. Different type of adjustments, but I think where he really lacks as a coach is playing different lineups, or he's afraid to try something new in the middle of the game.
Right.
I don't know. I really think this is the time to do it, to go 10, 11, 12 and bring in an Ish.
Yeah. When Ish brought us back against the Clippers, you cut his minutes short, you know what I'm saying? And he made a couple comments dang, I messed up. I should have played Aaron Holiday more. I forgot who he was playing. He was like, yeah, I messed that up. I should have did. And it's just
when it comes to playing personnel, I completely agree with you there, bro. Totally 100%.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's just the loyalty in him. Probably it's just I believe in you. So it's just I want you to know that I believe in you, even if we lose.
to a fault of his own. You know what I mean? He's a good guy to a fault of his own.
Yeah, like Monty, after the finals, he said you should have played Frank more, and him, saying I should have played Holiday more or I should have played Ish more. It's like, yeah, but are you gonna play him now when we need him, or are you just gonna act like we don't have him on the bench? I think these guys are solid, even though Ish hasn't been the most offensive minded guy since we picked him up. I mean, it's not like he had the green light to begin with. He was trying to make for others. He really wasn't taking the shots. And when everybody sat out and it was just Ish and the crew, I mean, he was poised. He was there. He was running the rotations. He was in the scheme. So we have these guys, and not to say Ish is going to save our bacon, but who's to say that he won't, dude? There's nothing wrong with just playing everything that you have, because if the Bucks want to, Bucks have other things to worry about right now. They're losing to the Bulls and there's 5 seconds left.
Ooh.
And so and the Bucks seem to look good in game 1. So they might be going through the same thing as we are. Sluggish, not
engaged.
They're defensively.
They're not missing an all-star though to injury now. Big difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference. They might be, mentally they might be going through the same thing as we are. But with Monty, if you watch this, we love you. But if you have the pieces, man, just play them. It doesn't hurt anybody. If not, it helps everybody on the bench. It helps the chemistry. And so even if it's for 2 minutes, if you need them for 2 minutes, just throw them out there, man. Run the towers, man. Have Biyombo out there. Make him a nuisance. He's gonna get Valanciunas pissed.
Everybody but Elfrid Payton. Even Elfrid Payton.
If you give Elfrid Payton burn, come on, dog.
Dude, if there's 21 seconds left in the first quarter and they've got the ball, that's when you put in Elfrid Payton on the perimeter. Even then, there is a role for him, even if it's for 21 seconds on defense.
And that 21 seconds can last 5 minutes if there's a bunch of fouls called, in that span too. So that gives time for everybody. We're deep, man, and we just need to act like it.
Everybody has a role. Go, Randy.
I was gonna say, I figured out why Monty does the Elfrid Payton so much. That's the ass warmer in Monty. That's the former I used to ride the bench, so I understand what it is, and you know what I mean. That's definitely the ass warmer in Monty. Why he holds on to the Abdul Naders and the what I mean, whoever was it, Elfrid Payton, Akobos, and it's just that's the ass warmer in you giving him minutes, because it's you knew what it felt like when you sat at the end of the bench, and you know what I mean. So it's just you gotta let that go, you know what I mean. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I am confident. I'm not trying to bash him. This is what I will say. I am confident in Monty's ability to I feel like he's proven this. Our ability to bounce back after losses like this, or just when having our back against the wall, this. That's why. Yeah, that's why I'm not panicked. That's why I'm all right. He strives in back against the wall situations.
He has a great track record. We're not questioning his coaching like that. It's just we have concerns and the lack of adjustments in game 2. Oh yeah, he is. I mean, but it's he has a great track record of making adjustments the game after and even before. But game 2 just brought more questions to us. We thought CP would take over, sort of like how he did game 1, but in actuality, Pelicans hit everything and the Suns missed everything, and we lost by 10, 12, something like that. And we didn't get blown out, but it felt like it. We're in the game. If we have a couple turnovers and Chris Paul hits a couple of shots, we're maybe going to OT, man.
Yeah, so it's one of those.
The margin of error, Amit. Margin of error, Amit.
Look, how did y'all feel after game 3 against the Lakers last year? We were done, right? We ain't coming back.
I didn't feel that way.
They were clowning us. I felt like the world was burning to me.
Yeah, no, I felt like I was like, Monty, you need to sit CP3 ass down. He's clearly not. Sit him down.
He was a liability. And
that's what I'm saying, dog. You're gonna keep riding till the wheels fall off. How many times is the wheels gonna break? How many times you gonna ride on brake pads before it's just dog? I should probably, check the tires every once in a while, every 3 months. Go ahead.
What's crazy is that people watched that Lakers series And after like Chris Paul got hurt and stuff, and people were like, "Yeah, Chris Paul is the best player on that team," even though like Booker went off that whole series. It's like Booker's honestly our best player, and especially like last year. And it's a lot more clear this year. But it's like if we're talking about depth and like how deep we are, like we should be able to pull like the next 2 games. Honestly, if we're keeping it a buck.
I mean,
Chris Paul's done it before.
I don't care about game 4. I just care about game 3 right now. And I said it
Exactly.
before, though.
Yeah.
I said it before. What was the most important game in any series?
I thought you said 5.
Yep.
Game 5. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Game 5. Game 5 will be the most important game in this series, and it's at home. And Book might be back. I'm not counting on it. I don't think he would play until game 6. I mean, we win game 3. He's resting game 4. We win game 3 and 4. He's definitely not playing game 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
It's
a lot
stress,
of
man.
Yep. There's a lot of what ifs, but we're gonna find out in the first 4 minutes of this game what this Suns team is all about, man. Like, I want to see quick rotations. I don't. If we give up one offensive rebound, I swear to God, like that's got to be a point of emphasis. It's inevitable in a game. It's inevitable. I totally get it. But if we can just lose the rebounding, like if we lose the rebounding by 5, we win that game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, or not win. If we just lose it by 5, like we lose it just by 5, I'm happy with that. That's a win for us. Our assist to points ratio or to makes ratio is still high. We haven't had a lot of hero ball except for first half last night with Book.
Mm-hmm.
There are things to look at on both sides to make you believe they can win and they won't win. That's for both teams. This is just a very, very strange matchup because of Willie Green.
Yeah.
And because of a midseason trade with CJ McCollum. This is arguably a top 5 8th seed of all time, along with the We Believe Warriors of 07, who upset the Mavs, the Knicks of 99, who upset the Heat and went all the way to the finals, the Suns of 08, I believe it was, when that was the year we traded Marion for Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
That was a damn good 8 seed. And I'm sure there's a couple that I can't remember off the top of my head. But look, man, even Jordan and the Bulls in 98 lost a game to the Hornets and BJ Armstrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So like these things happen. I get it. I'm glad I could come on and talk to you fellas. You guys are pulling me off the ledge a little bit. I can talk myself into Ish Wainwright 35 points, for Christ's sake. I can talk myself into anything.
No, Jay Crowder is definitely going to give us 20. I can see 20 tomorrow.
He's had so many bad games at this point. He's due for a good one now.
Yeah,
like, he's due. Like,
hey, even the Diamondbacks scored 11 runs today. Even the Diamondbacks scored 11 runs. So you know what? Anything can happen. But unfortunately, we still have to wait for a Chris Paul victory against Scott Foster.
Man,
which just hope we don't get him.
I can't even. I don't have the energy and the mental capacity to get into that topic right now.
Mm-mm.
That's too much for me
right now.
But I'm not fully optimistic just because I feel like there's so many things pointing in the Pelicans' favor. But I mean, anybody ever sprained their ankle before? Mm-hmm. Tighten your shoe up, play on a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A couple days later, that bitch is swollen. It is puffy. You can't be doing things on it. Brandon Ingram might not be 100%. Yeah. If Brandon Ingram comes in at 60%, we win that game. You know? So
was it his ankle? I thought it was like they were saying like it was his thigh or his hip or something. Oh,
it was his ankle. I thought if anybody
I didn't hear anything about an injury.
You didn't see him? He was literally like breathe. Like if you even look at the highlights, he's like damn, this hurts. And I was like, Mont, go at that. Like, why are we not?
Anyways. Make him run off picks. Make him do all these things.
I didn't see that. Yeah, make him work. Take him up like full court.
That's what I'm saying. There was something weird about that game that like they're sticking to the game plan no matter what. Because they don't want to show their cards. They don't want to reveal something. They don't want to. I don't know what it is.
Ego. It's pride. It's because it's Willie Green. And it's just like
that was just not the Phoenix Suns team that we've seen for 82 plus games. It just wasn't.
Even without D-Book.
Even without.
Yeah.
Even with, it wasn't the same Suns team. Even in the first half, that wasn't the same team. Game 1, that wasn't the same team.
Yeah. I'm confident
crazy.
though, man. Like I
You're
said,
confident?
our ability to perform when our back is against the wall is, you know what I'm
Bucks
saying?
lost.
Yeah, the Bucks lost.
I don't
But
even
our
care about the
ability to
series now.
our ability to perform when the back's against the wall, and like I said, we've done everything. They've showed me everything this season. Like I said, we can win without people. We can beat the refs, even though we didn't beat Scott
Yeah.
Foster last night. I think that yesterday too also came down to a key moment. Yes, we lost by 10, but I feel like if Monty, not trying to put it off on him again, but if Monty challenges one of those calls, I forgot which one it was. It was one of them that went out of bounds, and it was like we were only down by 1 point. And then they had, I want to say, 9 seconds on the clock, and then he didn't challenge it when it was clearly off of like Valanciunas or whoever
I
it was.
remember that, and they
And
scored
then-
off of it
And
too.
then they scored off of that, and then
Yeah.
ever since then, that was it. And it was just like when it comes down to playoffs, it comes down to moments. We can't lose moments. You know what I mean?
Roy is positive we're going to strike back harder. He also said he thinks it was an ankle. Yeah,
That's
I'm not
interesting.
counting
I
this
didn't
team
know
out.
that.
This team has shown us time and time again that they're going to overcome adversity and do whatever, but they always do it until they don't. That's just the reality of life. They didn't do it against the Bucks. Who knows what's going to go on here? I'm rambling. Jay, give us your final thoughts. Fuck.
No, I mean, being Arizona fans, it's hard. Like how what Randy said earlier. You win a playoff game, you feel on top of the world, and when you lose one, it feels like you're not going to win another one. And like just being an Arizona fan, it sucks watching your teams lose, like the way that we did last night. And but we know what this Phoenix Suns team is. We know how good they are, we know how deep they are, and we know how versatile they are, and we know how good of a coach Monty is. And I'm confident in that. We've won games without Booker. Yeah, that's regular season, but regular season says something. He was out 13, 14 games. And I think we only lost maybe 1 or 2 of those. But like Chris Paul, he has immense pressure on him, and he needs to be aggressive. And DA, he needs to make his presence known. Make Valanciunas mad. Like he picks up texts like nobody else. So I know DA can be a menace for Jonas, and DA needs to have a dominant game. If it's in points, if it's in rebounds, if it's in defense, it needs to be something. For him to only put up 6 shots is ridiculous, and that had a lot to do with just settling with the jump shot, unnecessary jump shots, and not feeding DA.
I think it was a specific game plan. It didn't look natural.
It didn't. So going into game 3, I'm expecting a couple things: an aggressive CP, pushing the pace, not selling for jump shots. If it's open, take it. But
that's something Campaign needs to do. By the way, he needs to push the pace even more. He needs to double that pace. He needs to get it and go, dog.
He gets to the rim like nobody else, but when he's settling with jump shots, it's fucking ridiculous. He gets to the rim more than anybody that I've ever seen. He's there every time, and
I give you that.
He might get blocked a couple times, but
I give you that.
Take it.
He can get to the rim, but the thing is that the scouting report is out on him now, and everybody knows he can't go right. He can't finish right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's just that's
even
where
when
I
he
feel
does go right, he finishes left. Yeah.
Exactly, and I feel that's kind of why. That's the only thing I can attribute it to on why he's been blowing so many layups. Because either they force you to go right at the last second, or they try to make you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just but yeah, I agree with you.
We've seen Payne abuse defenders and make him, run around in circles, this, that, and the third. And then, he finishes with a soft touch off the glass. We need to see that aggressive Payne. We need that bench presence and stuff. And yeah, a lot of guys
need a second person to come out and be able to create his own shot.
Yes. And that's why we got Landry, and hopefully
Jesus.
Hopefully Landry, has one of those, games in the next, couple, because we're definitely going to need it off the bench if Payne isn't delivering. So, like, the couple of things I expect is feed the A, aggressive Chris Paul, and then we need to put some size down in the paint. Give
Rebound.
Biyombo one assignment, grab every rebound you can possibly get, and tell Da too. Make sure he's there. And if we have 2-1 on Valanciunas, I like those odds. I think we're gonna grab a lot more because it's really just Valanciunas and Larry Nance snatching boards. Everybody else is running back, preventing the fast break because Booker's already going and McHale's already going. So this is very winnable.
Rebound. If we rebound, we can push the pace. If we
Absolutely.
defensive rebound off of the missed shot, we will be able to push the pace. And we have to go, go, go. So if we force 17 turnovers again, which underrated stat, we forced 17 turnovers. We gave up 12, but we forced 17. And if we don't give up so many offensive rebounds, that is 17 plus. They had 13 offensive rebounds. You cut half of those, you're looking at 23 opportunities to get out and run in transition. That is huge. And somebody said it in the chat. Maybe it was Rick, which, by the way, welcome. Yeah, he said if Jay Crowder can at least hit 30% of his shots, if he can go 2 of 6, we're better off. Look, man, a lot of things can happen, but I want to get your guys' official predictions and everybody in the chat, your official predictions for Game 3 and Game 4. We will be with you Sunday night, no matter what. I hate doing post-game stuff because of the potential of it going bad. But we're going to be here Sunday night for y'all. Make sure everybody's doing okay, or it's going to be a celebration. But we won't be there until then. So, Suns fan Randy, Game 3, Game 4. What is it going to be after 4? What's the series going to be at?
I think it might be in 6, but I'm going to say 5 for now. I'm going to just say 5. I think that we win tomorrow. Yeah, I think we win tomorrow. I don't know if we lose Game 4. But my whole thing is, I believe in Book more than anything. And I don't think Book is going to let us go outside. You know what I mean? So, like, whether it hurt or not, I feel like I have ultimate faith in Book. So it's just like, regardless of if they out-rebound us or not, like, I think Book, if he sees that stuff ain't going right, I feel like Book is not going to let us go outside. But yeah, that's my prediction on it.
JJ.
We win both, but one game at a time. Like, if we steal one at home, that's a big plus in my books. So let's start with Game 3. I think we win Game 3 for sure. Game 4 is going to be a dogfight. And if we are carrying the strong momentum like we've seen throughout the season, there's no reason why we can't win both games going back to Phoenix.
You guys have pumped me up. Roy's pumped me up. Bees, Fabio. Anybody doesn't know Fabio, go check him out. I think it's his Twitter page. Dude is mad talented on the guitar, man. Go check him out.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's so good. Fabio, drop your info again, man. Everybody in the chat has picked me up. I love seeing the positivity. I mean, even from vlogs, just a little bit. Boom. See, just as I say that. Look,
there you go, Iverson.
I love it. I love it. So everybody's lifted me up. I'm starting to believe a little bit more and believing less of the Pelicans' ability. I just got to say, though, I felt weird waking up today.
Oh,
I felt
100%.
weird. Honestly, I had some nightmares last night. I'm not the type of guy that has a lot of dreams or nightmares, but I had some pretty gruesome nightmares. Anybody with kids that has kids, I had some really bad dreams. And so I just woke up in a bad mood, thinking about Book and all that happened, dapping up the baby, and then Book going out like that, us losing, being a 1 seed possibly going out. I was just in a bad spot, just sports mentally, not like with life. Like sports doesn't rule my life. I had a great day at work. Some good things happened, but I just felt bad all day about this stuff, and that was really dragging me down. So I felt weird. I base a lot of my predictions kind of on gut feelings. Jay, you do too. We've talked about that quite a few times. More times than not, we're both pretty accurate. I'd say,
we're pretty on the nose with a lot of things. Yeah.
80% accuracy rating. And so, but now I'm feeling better. You guys have lifted me up. I appreciate you, Randy. I appreciate you, Jay. Thank you guys for coming on. Everyone, please hit the like button. Share this out to everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for our audio listeners, hit up Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play. We really appreciate you guys coming in and no matter what, man, we're riding or dying with the Suns. This is our team. We love them. Hoping for the best. Not going to play the outro music. We're just going to end it here. Everyone have a good night. Go Suns in 2 days.
Debo, come to the Packers. Come on, we need
talk
you.
about Debo
Fuck
Samuel.
no.
We
I
need
know
to
what?
talk about
He's
Debo.
probably not like. I don't know why I'm saying that because the Cardinals are a
Oh,
shit show
God.
right now. We're not even going to address the Cardinals until week 1. So I'm so
Shit.
sick of talking about this team. So
Hey,
Evan,
at least
we-
next Thursday, we might have the draft and game 6.
Right.
That
Right.
would be kind of cool. If that's the case, we're doing a live broadcast. Anyways, we're ending it here. You guys have a good one.